we are going to do an easement here. It's guile access to the public road right there. Yeah, I think that was we're good with just kind of check through and we can read it in the final. Look at all this work.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to the February 20th, 2025 Subdivision and Utility Advisory Committee. Could we have the opening announcements, please?
Before we begin the agenda, the Wichita-Sedgwick County Metropolitan Area Planning Commission would like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone to this public hearing. Copies of the agenda for today's meeting, the public hearing procedure, and Planning Department staff reports on all agenda items are available on the counter in the lobby. The Planning Commission's bylaws limit the applicant of a subdivision application and his or her representatives to a total of 10 minutes of speaking time at the start of the hearing on that item, plus up to 2 minutes at the conclusion of that hearing. All other persons wishing to speak on agenda items are limited to 3 minutes per person. However, if they feel that it is needed and justified, the Commission may extend these times by a majority vote. All speakers are requested to state his or her name and address for the record when beginning to speak. When you are finished speaking, please share your name, address, and the case number on the sheet provided in the room. This will enable staff to notify you if there are any additional proceedings concerning that item. All speakers at the podium, please remove your face mask before speaking into the microphone.
Could we have the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Johnson.
Present.
Mr. Zimbelman.
Here.
Mr. Dool is absent. Ms. Klontz.
Here.
Mr. Blick.
Here.
Mr. Mader.
Here.
And Mr. Williams Bay.
Here.
Sir, I show 6 present and 1 absent.
Okay, thank you. First case today is a vacation item 2025-1. It's a vacation request in the city portion of a platted 20-foot drainage and utility easement located west side of North Garnet Street and 200 feet south of East 21st Street. Could we have the staff report?
Yes, sir. Philip Zievenbergen for the record. Vacation 2501 is a vacation of a portion of a 20-foot platted drainage and utility easement on lots 3, 4, and 5, Block 1 of the Trinity Academy 3rd Edition. The site is zoned limited commercial within CUP DP 352 and is currently undeveloped. As you mentioned, the vacation is on the west side of North Garnet and south of East 21st Street North. And the purpose is to relocate the existing sewer line in order to foster future development on the sites. There is a existing sewer line, if you go to the aerial image in there, and Wichita Public Works is requiring a new easement and relocation of the sewer line, and that easement will have to be dedicated by a separate instrument before the case goes to City Council for final action. With that dedication of a new easement, the existing public sewer would be relocated at the applicant's expense, and that the abandoned portion of the public sewer line needs to be abandoned per city specifications. There are no other utilities in the easement, no other public works or traffic engineering objections, and franchise utilities do not object, and they don't have any utilities in the easement either. There's been no public comment on this, and I can stand for any questions.
All right, questions from the commissioners? Comments from the advisory board?
Rondi with Evergy, 4025 North Tobin. No additional comment.
Okay. Could we have the agent, please? You'll have 10 minutes. Please state your name and address.
Good morning, Brian Lindeback, MKEC Engineering, 411 North Webb Road, on behalf of the owner and applicant. We are in agreement with staff comments. We will be providing an updated easement, as review comments come in. We've already turned in relocation plans, and we're just waiting for those review comments back from the city. With that, I'll stand for any questions.
All right. Questions from the commission? Advisory board, comments, questions?
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this? See none, bring it back to the commission.
Move to approve for staff's comments.
Second.
Ooh. Have a motion by Mr. Williams-Bay, seconded by Mr. Blick. Any further comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 6-0. Our next case will be subdivision 2025-6. This is a one-step final plat for the Wildflower Edition. It's located at the southwest corner of East 85th Street North and North 143rd Street East. It's in the county. This was deferred from the February 6th, 2025 subdivision meeting. And I think there was a disagreement, I guess I'll say, between the access points. And I don't, if we want to go back through the whole thing, or do you want to just address it from that point on, or what do we?
Yeah,
wanna
I
do?
think we can just address the reason why it was deferred, and unless there's been any other change to comments.
Right. Yeah, that's correct. There were some issues with access that needed to go back and forth between the agent and the Public Works, County Public Works. So I will, if you do not want to hear the complete case, I will leave it at that and then let the agent give
well,
his.
I believe that's the only
presentation.
disagreement we had, wasn't it? Access
Yep.
points. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions for the commissioner? Okay, thank you. Agent, please. You'll have 10 minutes and state your name and address, please.
Kirk Miller, K.E. Miller Engineering, 117 East Lewis. I'm the agent. We have met with the county and we've reached an agreement. We are in agreement with their comments from Public Works with one exception or addition. I don't know how you want to view it, but we agreed that we would be allowed one access right here to this piece of lot ones because you have a floodway here, gets wet, could be wet all the time, who knows? Then you have no access to this lot if we don't have an access point there. And Daniel agrees with that, correct? He's nodding his head. Otherwise, we'll do the shared access and everything else they wanted.
Okay. Questions from the commission? County?
Daniel Schramm with Sedgwick County Public Works. We are in agreement with the revised changes to the access controls.
Okay, any other comments? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone from the public like to speak on this? Okay. If not, I'll bring it back to the commission. I'll move that we accept. Yes, sure.
One other item that is also being addressed is the right-of-way. We had a disagreement on the right-of-way last time, and that we are also in agreement on that, correct? That it will be done per the subdivision regulations.
Okay. Motion to approve per these staff comments and the agreements.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Zimbelman, a second by Johnson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed 6-0. Our final case of the day is subdivision 2025-7. This is a preliminary plat for Willow Springs Edition, located at the southeast corner of North 87th Street West and West 73rd Street North. It's in the county. Can we have the staff report, please?
Good morning, Greg Sharon, planning staff. This is a preliminary plat. It says one step on your staff report, but it is for a preliminary plat. Next screen, please. This is a preliminary plat for a 17-lot residential subdivision in the county. Next screen, please. Access to lots 11 through 14 will be via the 73rd Street Court, and lots 8 and 9 will be accessed off of West 73rd Street North with a joint access easement, and the remainder of lots will be accessed by established private drives within the reserves. There is one waiver that will need to be requested, and that is a requirement to provide street stub since they have platted the 73rd Street Court. It would require a street stub to the south and east of the property, but given that the property to the south and east is one lot, and on the east side of the property is a driveway that is not a appropriate connection to a driveway, for connection to a driveway for private property. So therefore, a waiver is requested. Go through staff comments. MABCD needs soil works before approval memos issued. County Stormwater Management approves of the drainage concept. And there will be some final modifications with the final drainage plan. County Fire advises it appears that the service drives in the reserves will exceed 6 lots, and notes that the south end of Reserve C needs an improved turnaround. And I believe that the agent will address some of those issues. County Public Works, access controls need to be shown. The openings at 73rd Street Court, Reserve B, C, and joint access easements are acceptable opening locations. Existing driveway shall be removed. Recommends access control to be added to lot 14 to ensure access to 73rd Street Court. Notes the property is south that have access via the 30-foot access easement will not be able to be built upon due to the county service drive code. Also states that Reserve C stays a private drive. It cannot be utilized for access to properties to the south. And Public Works Fire notes that any construction on primary structures to the south that utilize the 30-foot access easement will reduce the number of building permits within Willow Springs Addition. And once again, I believe the agent will address some of those access issues. Item E, GIS approves of the street name. Planning Department just need further clarification of the access to the lots. County Surveying has no comments at this time. And item H, Sedgwick County Electric Co-op will not need to request any additional easements at this time. And with that, I will stand for questions.
Okay, questions? Mr. Flick?
Can you point out on the map, on the site map for me on that waiver for the flag lot on the east side?
Oh, yes.
Greg, can you use the mouse on the podium?
Sorry, I keep forgetting there's a mouse. Yeah, the property to the south and the east, it's technically one lot. I don't know if you can go back to the aerial photo. But it doesn't show that. But this property is connected. You can see there's 2 little white or yellow lines. That's actually a driveway that accesses this property to the south. So to have a connection from this to this property would go across a private drive. So that's the request for the waiver for the connection.
Thank you.
Yep.
Other questions for the staff? Okay, thank you. Applicant or agent? Pardon? Oh, I'm sorry. Any questions, comments from the advisory board?
Rondi with Evergy. This is outside our territory. We don't serve it.
Okay, thank you. Please state your name and address, and you'll have 10 minutes.
Yep. Good morning, Thomas Joyce, Boffman Company, 315 South Ellis, agent for the applicant. We're in agreement with the staff comments regarding the access controls, and just to clarify who is going where for the private drives so that we're in compliance with the drive code, service drive code. I've got a color exhibit put together that I think may be in the slideshow, but if not, I've got some copies to pass out to kind of help explain who's going where. Thank you, Philip. So we've got a Reserve B is going to be a private drive off the west. Lots 2, 3, and 4 will utilize that drive. And then Reserve C is going to kind of come in at the halfway point. And lots 5, 6, and 7 will utilize that private driveway. Lot 1 on the very west side, we're working with Daniel to get a driveway straight onto 73rd Street. And then Lot 10, in conversation with Daniel this week, we're going to do an access easement back to the public cul-de-sac through Lot 11. And then the rest of the lots will be accessed via the public cul-de-sac of 73rd Court. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the commissioners for the applicant? County, you want to address this?
Yeah, as Thomas mentioned, we talked about lots 1 and 10 yesterday. Lot 1 currently has an existing house on it. I think on the preliminary plat it's shown to be removed, but we would be keeping that access point for Lot 1. So it would be accessing 73rd Street directly. And then Lot 10 would be going across Lot 11 with its own service drive, so that if Lot 10 was ever split in the future, they would all be accessing off of that driveway. I would also point out, just because we've had a number of issues in the last month with service drives, that because they are limited to 3 structures, and this goes to some of the comments that both Fire and Public Works made, that future development to the south would not be an option if all of these were developed, just because you can only have 3 primary structures on a service drive. And so that gets to be a little bit of an issue. If anyone's wanting to split lots, they won't be able to do that. And then that property to the south is owned by the same property owner currently. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. But I believe it's just a matter of who gets to MABCD first to get a building permit if they do try to build a house down there.
Do you understand?
Yes, yeah, and agreement that the property to the south is owned by the same owner. There's also quite a bit of floodplain through there, being so close to the river, so the likelihood of a residence down there is very, very minimal. But it is kind of how the service drive code and the current regulations are set up that, the limit is the limit.
Okay. So you are in agreement with
Yes.
the rest of the staff comments? Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments from? Thank you. Does anyone from the public like to speak on this? Okay. See, none, I'll bring it back to the commission.
Motion to approve with staff's recommendations and the waiver.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Blick, a second by Commissioner Klontz. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 6-0. Any other business we need to talk about? All right, thank you all for coming. Okay.
And my last day will be June 2nd. So Vicky Kozalaf is my counterpart, and she is going to be taking my place. So we'll kind of be coming together as a tag team till she becomes comfortable.
I think we need a motion to approve her retirement.
What's that?
I said, I think we need a motion to approve her retirement by substitute motion.
Me and Mr. Johnson been here a long time.
I want to make sure she's got your phone number.
I'm gonna change that as soon as I walk out the door.
I think it's warmed up to -6, so everybody have fun.
Congratulations.
Recording stopped.